Well, you know what? I could tell you what to eat, and I guarantee you're going to lose weight, but I guarantee you're going to go back to probably some of your old habits. So slowly bring in something new, bring in something versus take something out. Because once we start eliminating stuff and we think, oh, I can't have this, then there's these rules. And you know what? We love to break rules, right?
Well, hello there. It's me, Terry, and I want to say welcome to this episode of The Terry Cole Show. A very special, very exciting episode for me. I am having my workout guru and pal, Michelle Brayler, back on the show because this is the woman who has helped me so very much. And she is on YouTube. That's where I found her. And she does all kinds of workouts, from trampoline workouts to PiYo to Pilates to anything you could possibly ever want to do. She's doing it. She's so skilled. She helps me so much with making sure that I'm doing it right. And I just had a bunch of you ask me questions. I put it out there like, what is happening for you? It's the beginning of a new year. What do you want to know about? And that someone who is a professional fitness professional, certified health and life coach can help you with. And she happens to be my very, very fave. So that is what this episode is about. And I also want to make sure that you know that Michelle is doing a beginner's trampoline challenge starting February 6th. And so you can sign up for that and get the downloadable calendar at michellebrayler.com, which is MICHELLEBRIEHLER.com. I'm so excited, and I'm not even a beginner, and I'm still going to be doing that beginner's thing because it's just so much fun. So I hope that you enjoy this conversation with Michelle Brayler as much as I enjoyed interviewing her. I'm so excited to welcome back to the Terry Cole Show, Michelle Brayler. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Terry. Good to see you.
You too, although I see you every single day of my life because you are my workout guru, leader. I'm in your private, I want to say your private club, but it's actually community. So you may not see me every day, Michelle, but I see you every day.
Oh,
Um, I wanted to have you back on the show, though, because a lot of people had questions, and I just figured this is a perfect time of year, right? We're still in the beginning of the year. We're only a month in, and it's a perfect time if people want to make changes in their physical lives. Part of my story with finding you, I found you over the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic, when I could not go to the gym anymore. I kept thinking, right, because they said it was going to be like 2 weeks. I was like, all right, well, for 2 weeks, I could probably walk or work out at home. But then it wasn't 2 weeks. And I had an old trampoline, a mini tramp, and I found you. And then my sister and I became obsessed with you. And that's how it began. And I have to say, Michelle, I'm literally in the best shape of my life from doing your workout. So thank you.
oh, you're so welcome.
So exciting. So people are asking me, just going to ask you some questions since you're the expert when it comes to this whole physical wellness stuff. One person wrote in and said, I want to start working out. I was in shape in my 20s, then I had kids, then I didn't do anything, and now I'm in my 50s. What do you suggest I do? Because I asked my crew, like, what do you want me to ask Michelle? So that was one of the questions.
So the first thing I like if I'm working with somebody or if they come to me personally is I ask them what their goal is and how much time that they can commit to something that they can sustain. So that's like the number one thing. What do you want? What is the goal that you want? And what's the time that you can commit? Because if you can't keep it consistent, you're not going to get any results. And that's in anything that you decide to do. If you want to make a change in any part of your life, just
Right.
even just moving. So if you for cost effectiveness, one is just go for walks. The other thing is that YouTube, where I am, there's a lot of free content out there that
Mhm.
provides you, but you have to also be careful with who you're deciding to go with to make sure that you're deciding to be with somebody who has a background and education and knowledge in the fitness. But if you're looking to really change your body at this stage, if you're in that 50 age range, right now, strength training is such a key element. It really can help you with your bone density, with fat loss, muscle mass. It can help to change the shape of your body. It does give you cardio effects too. I think women tend to think that it's only, I'm not going to get all sweaty and feel like I got a good workout in. Believe me, if you come and do a workout with me and we just use weights, you're going to get cardio, you're going to get endurance, you're going to get balance, you're going to get strength. If you're looking to lose weight, build on endurance, throw some weightlifting in there, strength training, along with it could be walks.
I love that idea. Here's the thing. So, Michelle, you're saying sort of get committed. So, if you get committed to what you can actually do. So, let's say this person who wrote in who's got a bunch of kids, maybe 3 times a week, she can commit to 30 minutes. Okay. So now you have a starting point. And what I love about your channel on YouTube, and I'm always listen, I put it you in my story almost every day because this is literally what I do with my this is how I work out every single day, is that you have such a variety of different times, right? So if I need something short, I know I can find a 15-minute something. I know you have a 10-minute standing ab. I know you have an 11-minute, doing ab on the trampoline. You don't have to even do the trampoline, right? You have so many other workouts. But I think that it's finding someone who knows what they're doing, as you said, and picking like slowly but surely. I picked one of your videos, like your sort of more beginner videos, and shared it with a bunch of my friends saying, listen, because they were complaining they wanted to get in shape. It's so hard. And I was like, just commit to doing this 2 times a week to start. Let yourself get some success and see. And actually two of them have gone on to now they also joined your community and now they're every day I'm texting with them. Which one are you doing? What are you doing? What is going on? But it starts with small, you know?
I like what you said too, Terry, is that you said what you can do. And that's the biggest thing because so many of us go, I used to do this and I can't and I should. And those are the
Mm,
things you don't want to be saying to yourself. You have to be looking at yourself and say, okay, this is what I can do. This is what I can commit to. And you want to enjoy it. Like you don't want to feel like it's torture every time. So that's why when you're with me in the workouts, I have this crew of women to bring this group setting, the sense of community, so that you understand that we're here with you. We're here all together and we feel it, right? I hope do you feel that?
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the videos where you're alone too, of course, because you're leading us, but there is a different energetic vibe. I think for me, being someone who was a gym person, and I wasn't like a gym rat on my own doing weights, even though I did weights, I was always taking classes. And there is something so powerful about the group dynamic. But I also think it's important to have accountability. And because my sister Kathy and I do this together, and she doesn't live that far away from me, and I know, I probably work out 6 days a week, maybe seven. If I don't, like if there's like 2 days in a row that I don't work out, like the night before, she's like, get your workout stuff out, Ter. I have an early morning tomorrow. She's like, no, you can do 20 minutes. Do 20 minutes. You're going to feel better. Like, and listen, I'm not saying maybe friends can't do that, but sisters can definitely do that because she knows if I fall off this wagon for a long time, I'm going to be miserable. I feel like it's never going to happen again, of course, but you always feel that way when you're in great shape and there's no problems. But what about getting injured? Another person wrote in and said that they had a disc injury in their back from working out, and now they're very worried about getting back? Because I know you also had an injury, right?
Yeah. Well, I've been dealing with a herniated lumbar back since I was in high school. So I totally feel for somebody when their back is feeling, because it affects everything. So even for me, I have a support in my chair. One thing is you need to listen to your body. You need to understand it. So if you don't really understand what's really going on with your body, you can't make the changes to help it. So
Right.
if you know that certain movements are going to agitate your back, my suggestion is to avoid those or modify them. Do them maybe with no weight or just skip over that part and move on to the next movement that you need. But an injury is, something that's telling you, hey, something's not right here. And maybe you need to do something to make it better. And here comes that like little bits. Like if you spend, just think about it, when you brush your teeth, you're only brushing your teeth for a total of 4 minutes a day. And that's taking care of your whole oral health. Just think if you just
Right.
spent 2 to 4 minutes taking care of that injury or maybe mental health or anything like, but just that tiny bit adds up consistently to a big result.
What happened for you though? Like, because I was watching it in real time with you being injured, and then I was worried you weren't gonna be able to come back full strength. Like, honestly, I was like, "That's a back injury, it's a long one, I wonder." So how
Yeah.
did you actually do it? Because you were sharing some stretches and stuff like that with us.
So it went out. We were filming actually the 14-day beginner trampoline series, and we were doing it over the summer, and we were banging them out. And we were just, sometimes two, three in a row. And the day before the last filming, I was doing the choreography. I was out in the driveway and I went through it. And then just before everybody came to the driveway, I bent over. So this was something in the works. I bent over and then I couldn't get back up. So I knew it herniated. I knew it was pretty bad. So when I went to the doctor, I knew exactly what he was going to say. But he actually handed me this book and he said, you know what, read this book from front to cover. And it was called The McKenzie Method. And I said, okay. And I knew exactly what I was going to have to do because I knew I was going to have to do back extension because it was the lumbar area. And I read it and then I really started thinking about it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take this seriously. So every hour in the very beginning, I did 10 up dogs. I would just,
Mm,
whatever I was doing, I set my phone on a timer so that I did it every single hour. And then within a couple of days, because the pain was pretty bad, I was on the couch most of the time. I was feeling much better. So the length of time, I couldn't tell you exactly how long the time was. It was probably a couple of weeks versus what was saying in the book. It could have been 6 months to even longer.
mhm.
By being consistent and doing those 10 up dogs every hour during the day, and then constantly just being mindful of it and not doing the work, like I wasn't working out, I wasn't doing any of that stuff. It healed itself within a matter of weeks versus months.
Right. Were you doing any icing, any heat?
Not really, just my up dogs. I did
Wow.
take some anti-inflammatory cream on the area just to help
Mhm.
with the inflammation, but it was still to this day. So we've been filming again for another series, and when we do series, we do pack in a lot of workouts. So I typically, and they, my crew, we typically don't do. So I kind of felt the twinging, and I thought, you know what, I need to be back on my regimen, and I do it every day still though, but not as
Yep.
often. I do probably at least
Right.
2, 3 times a day, but when I feel it, I'm doing it 4 or 5 times in the day.
Wow, that's amazing because my husband has a lot of back stuff because he's been an artist and an illustrator hunched over this way for 50 something years. And I remember when I sent him one of the videos when you were showing us about the up dogs, saying, this might help you in a preventative way because I mean
Yeah.
he's in good shape, but really being mindful of the fact that the back kind of can go out. All right, I have another question from a listener, and she wanted me to ask you about it's the beginning of the year. She usually makes some kind of a New Year's resolution about losing weight. She wants to lose weight, but she doesn't want to fail. So, and she was talking specifically about food. And I know that you're a whole coach with all the things food and working out. So, what are your thoughts about how this person can sort of start her process?
Small, manageable changes. As soon as you tell somebody, like I get asked all the time, like, what do you eat? Do you have a diet plan? And I'm like, well, you know what? I could tell you what to eat, and I guarantee you're going to lose weight, but I guarantee you're going to go back to probably some of your old habits. So slowly bring in something new, bring in something versus take something out. Because once we start eliminating stuff and we think, oh, I can't have this, then there's these rules. And you know what? We love to break rules, right? So bring in something new. So maybe if you're not drinking enough water, maybe you go, okay, I'm going to start drinking more water. I'm going to add more water into my day. And the other thing could be like, you know what? I'm going to have a piece of fruit with every meal or
Mm,
an extra serving of vegetables so that you don't feel like you're being deprived. Because if you have all those good things, all of a sudden those bad things kind of slip out of your diet a little bit at a time. And then eventually, because I tell you, I used to eat Skippy peanut butter, I used to eat other things. And then I slowly just took them out because I was like, you know what? It doesn't serve my body. And I love this body and I'm going to give it what it needs for energy. And so if you ask yourself, What foods do I eat that give me energy? Why am I not eating them? Why do I choose to have these other foods? So if you start tapping into this like self curiosity of like, why do I eat that? And what is it accomplishing for me? Is it
Hmm.
feeding me because maybe I need some comfort, or maybe I need to go for a walk and get some fresh air?
Right. Right. So it's really looking at what you're actually consuming, what you're doing, because I think a lot of times with the overeating, I was doing a lot of eating of carbs in like the fall. I was going through this whole thing, like eating carbs at night and just crap that is counterproductive to what you want to do. And I ended up going on this show with Dr. Daniel Amen, who's like a brain expert, and he scanned my brain. And what he found in my brain was massive amounts of activity, like so busy. And he said, Tara, I know why you want the quick hit of the carbs. And I was like, because I'm weak and have no willpower. And he said, no, because it soothes a busy brain. There's actually hormones and chemicals released when you're eating carbs, but there's other ways. So he gave me a bunch of supplements and told me to do EMDR and a couple of experiences that I had. So whatever, we're in the process now where I'm taking 8 million supplements a day, but there was something very validating about him saying, there's an actual real reason. And I think, that's bringing it back to what you just said, like understand that self inquiry, that curiosity you just talked about is like, what am I getting out of this?
Another question you ask yourself too is that when you're eating is like, who am I when I eat? Am I
Mm,
multitasking? Am I engaged in conversations that are negative? Am I distracted? Am I driving in my car? Am I watching the news where my stress levels are high?
right.
So when you eat, right, we want digestion to help absorb all the nutrients as much as possible. But if you're at a stressed out state, and most of us are at a stressed out state like 80% during the day, maybe 90% of the time, that when you eat, you're not going to get that nutrition because you're so stressed out. So the
Mm,
easiest trick that you can do to like get out of a stressed out state, to get that busyness out, is just to breathe. Like breathing is easy, it's free. Nobody knows what you're doing, but when you're feeling like that anxiety or stress, and if you just take 10 deep breaths, like 2 minutes, it's amazing what it can do for you. It can increase your digestive system. It can help people who have any kind of stomach upset issues. Like, what did it take? 2 minutes of your time.
right. Yeah, there's actually a great app that I love that Deepak Chopra created, and it's just called the Breathe app, I believe. And it looks like a gray circle. And you guys, I'll put it in the show notes. I've definitely talked about it before because I've had it in my phone for years, where what I love about it is that it basically customizes the way the way you're following the breath on this app to your own breathing, because we all breathe a different amount per minute, and it's slowing it down. But you can either have an auditory cue, which is actually Yo-Yo Ma, the cellist,
Oh, nice.
him making a cue, or you can do it silently where you're just watching the ball get big and then get small, and you're breathing in rhythm with that. And what I loved about that is that if I would find myself in a stressed out state somewhere, I could just look down, if I could, on that app and follow it with no one had to know I was doing it. And it literally, you're talking exactly what you just said, Michelle. It took like 2 minutes. And they've done a whole bunch of series of studies about what mindful breathing in this way, how incredibly beneficial it is. And I think that this really brings us back to a lot of the questions that came in to me for you are sort of like, people want the big thing. They want the magic bullet. They want I'm going to now run a marathon. And the boring ass truth is that it is these small things that you've been talking about today in this interview, putting a breathing app on your phone, eating a piece of fruit at your meals, like adding healthier things rather than depriving the crap out of yourself so that you're going to fall off the wagon if you do that. And it is slow and steady when it comes to health and fitness. Yes, and you know what? It does also mean doing it sometimes when you
Yeah.
don't feel like doing it.
Discipline. It's not motivation. It's not willpower. Like motivation comes and goes. It's a feeling. But you can create energy. Sometimes I know before we got on this call, you can see I have my trampoline back here. I jumped on the trampoline just for like a minute, just to create energy, positive vibe, energy, just to shake it out, get the blood going. So when you feel like you're not motivated, which we all have that, just create energy, move your body a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, like this switch comes on, like, you know what? I can do this. I can do 10 minutes. And then maybe it's 15 minutes.
Yep. Yep. I love it. I know you're doing a beginner's trampoline challenge this month. So many people were asking me about it because I've been sharing my trampoline experience with the world. So tell us about this challenge because I know so many people who want to join it.
This is so great for beginners. I only have a couple beginner workouts on my channel. So this is a series. This starts you off with the very basics so that you lay down the foundations. And then we work our way into learning all the words, all the techniques, and starting to challenge you, throw in different formats so that you get an understanding that the trampoline is an amazing tool, not just for cardiovascular, but for strength, for your lymphatic system, bone density. I know I could keep going on and on. It's called the
Please do.
Fountain of Youth because look at you, Terry. I mean, it's just easy on the joints. Although my doctor said, with your back issue, you shouldn't jump on the trampoline, but that is the one thing that does not bother my back, like honestly. And the trampoline's a great tool because you can see it in the series is that we also do core work on it. We do glute work on it. We do bar. So there's so much variety that you can get out of a trampoline versus some other equipment that you might be buying for your home.
Yes. So how can people join the challenge?
So if you want to get the calendar and join the challenge, go to michellebreeler.com.
Okay, so we're going to have everything in the show notes. And you guys will also put links. If you're really serious and you're like, I want to join this crew, I'll tell you the trampoline that I have. I'll put links to what Michelle has, that her crew, what they jump on, because I think you guys have Jump Sport, right?
Yes, we do. We work on Jump Sport.
Yeah, and I have a less expensive one. And I feel like it's not a super commitment financially, but it might just change your life. Like it actually might. It has literally changed my life from a person who never thought I would work out, not at not at a gym, right? Never home working out, to have the same feeling that I get with your crew, the driveway crew, or whether you guys are in the garage or wherever it is that you're working out. I always know that there is something for me. And in a way, it's not that there's no excuse. There is no excuse, but it's so much faster for me to do it at home. I used to drive 25 minutes one way to my gym, then have to shower there and all that crap. And I have to tell you, I don't miss it at all. And in light of the pandemic and my elevated, what am I going to say, awareness of germs, I really like working out in my clean house. I love it. So you guys, if you are interested in becoming a trampoline or a tramp, as I like to say, like we are, feel free to join us.
Or
I'm definitely
bouncer.
going to be doing a bouncer. I guess that's probably better than a tramp, but I think a tramp is funny. Join us. We're going to be doing it in February. I'm super excited to do it. And I'm going to do it even though it's a beginner's and I'm not a beginner, because again, it's always good to go back and to learn. So Michelle, thank you for spending time with us today. Again, tell people where they can get the calendar and sign up to be a part of the challenge.
Yes, make sure you go to michellebreeler.com and then you'll be able to enter in your email and you get the clickable, printable calendar so that you have access to all those amazing workouts.
Right on. And also follow Michelle on Instagram. I do. At Michelle. Is it just Michelle Breeler, right?
Yep, just Michelle Breeler. You can find me. That's all that I use, just my name.
All right, great. All right. Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate you. I don't know what I would do without you. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh,
And I'll
thank you.
see you tomorrow, even though you won't see
Oh,
me tomorrow, but I
yes,
will
and
see
I
you
will
tomorrow.
see you at the next workout.
Yes, you
Thank
will.
you, Terry.